What is going on, beautiful people? It's your boy here, Wesley from A Connection TV here on YouTube, the one place on the World Wide Web where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And welcome to my channel. I am here to review the crap storm that is BB24. And yeah, if this is your first time seeing me, definitely subscribe, definitely like this video, and definitely leave comments because I am going to discuss 10 points of interest for me all week. I think this is going to help me organize my thoughts a little bit before I get into my 10 points of discussions. Definitely hook your boy up and go cop my cozy bucket hat. If you know me, you know that I've been going through a roller coaster with Beyonce's album. At first listen, I was kind of like, what the heck is this? But then as I got to listen to the album and I saw how people clicked or linked or connected with the album, I was able to see, Beyonce's point or what she was trying to accomplish with this album. At least I'm trying to gather that understanding, and as I do gather the understanding, for me, I connect more with the album. I don't know why that took me a lot to explain. Usually, or actually, as a matter of fact, I'm a visual guy, so I love going to the movies. I love seeing pictures, videos that could allow me to determine or connect to whatever it is that I'm watching. And so for me, music videos allow me to connect to the song and understand the interpretation of the song by the artist, because I want to get why or where they were trying to go with the music. With Beyonce's album, for whatever reason, we don't have any visuals for this album, and it's annoying me, and I don't understand why she's doing it this way. Again, it's annoying me. So I'm listening to the album and I'm hearing so much going on with the album, and it's like, what is she doing? Why is she doing this? Da, 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 da. So without the music videos, I had to gain my own interpretation of the music. I love majority of the album. There are still like 5 songs that I can care less about, but I like the album. I don't know how I got on this Beyonce album, but yeah, oh, the hat. Anyways, I said all that garbage to say I am in my cozy bag because I'm cozy in the skin that I'm in. Okay, cozy with who I am. Cozy, okay? So I have a cozy collection on I said, oh my God. I'm just waking up and it's a lot going on already. But I have a cozy line on my online clothing store, actvshop.com. And this is one of the pieces. And so definitely go get your cozy hat. Anyways, if you're cozy in the skin that you're in. My 10 points of discussion regarding BB24, because I told my social media buddy J Dell that I was done reviewing the episode, and then in the midst of this week and in conversations dealing with him, he's like, you shouldn't just drop doing reviews altogether, you should still review it. I no longer, well, at this point, I no longer want to be a part of Big Brother, because I finally understand why the cookout was formed. And it's because there has not been a successful, diverse alliance in all of the seasons of Big Brother where they made it to the final alliance group number, and then that's when they decided to turn on each other. I was really hoping that the leftovers would make it to the 7, and then that's when they would turn on each other, but we did not make it to the 7. And it just feels like there's never going to be a moment where that happens. And so, I don't know, after everything that has gone down this week, I just feel let down. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to necessarily be on the show. But my 10 points of discussions are, sorry for the long intro video. Points of discussion number 1, Terrence in power. A lot of people are still hating on Terrence and still saying that Terrence is a layup and still saying that Terrence doesn't matter and still saying and still saying and still saying and still saying. My only issue with Terrence was not how much he was floating around or how much he didn't really contribute to the game. It was the fact that he was talking poorly, mocking, being sarcastic about Taylor for no reason. He was a part of the hate train to Taylor all the way up until Daniel left the house. That's my problem with Terrence. And that's why I don't really care for him, right? But outside of that, I can also acknowledge that Terrence got power at a time when it was probably necessary for him. Terrence has no allegiance to anyone in the game. Therefore, he doesn't have to do what the public wants him to do. And he's basing his gameplay off the knowledge that he's been given and, just how he feels overall. Can't fault him for anything. I don't fault him for anything. Just how poorly he talked about Taylor for no reason. And so when I see Terrence in power, I'm like, wow, y'all screwed up. The leftovers have 7 people in power, and Terrence ends up in 7 people, in the alliance, and Terrence ends up in power. That's horrible for the leftovers, but great for Terrence. Good job, Terrence. Terrence controlled his outside. His main target was always Joseph. He always felt like Joseph was a threat for whatever reason. And he had whatever kind of connection he had with Alyssa and or Turner, and kind of roped Kyle in the mix because of, Kyle being attached to Alyssa. And it is what it is. Okay. Terrence got HOH. Terrence won the veto. Terrence is in power. Can't hate on that. You just can't hate on that. And so it is what it is. You may not like Terrence, but he did what he needed to do on his HOH. Had all power, and no one can tell him anything. Gotta respect it, and I do. I still don't like him as a person, but, and it's interesting because he was crying, getting the letter from his wife, and I'm like, the way he was crying is like, does he really respect women? How he, talked poorly about Taylor? Is his wife gonna appreciate how he spoke about Taylor? That's what I'm curious about. Points of discussion number 2. Turner's betrayal to the leftover alliance. I never cared for Turner. I never thought Turner was an amazing person. Turner was never in my top 4. He was in a lot of y'all's top 4. And the reason why Turner was never really in my top 4 was because of all of the rumors that were going on about him using the N-word out in real life. And, the fact that he didn't take showers and all of that. I was just like, I'm going to leave him on that side of the fence. He had nice commentary towards Jasmine. There were a lot of people that couldn't stand Jasmine. And his speech about Taylor made me warm up to him. But at the same time, he was complicit in the hate train to Taylor. And I didn't really know if it was genuine or not, because they roped Taylor in at the tail end of the leftovers. She was a filler. So was his feelings really genuine or no? I don't know. Still to this day, don't know, especially to this day, don't know how genuine those comments were or if they were just for optics, right? So Turner then goes and betrays the leftovers. Now, is he betraying the leftovers because he feels he has no other option? Is he betraying the leftovers because he never really cared about the leftovers and he's closer to Kyle and Alyssa because they're white? Who knows? I don't know Turner. But Turner's betrayal is coming at a moment where it's allowing me or giving me the decision to not really like Big Brother anymore. Because everyone is always saying that it's not about race. It shouldn't be about race. Blah, 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 race. Blah, 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 race. But when you see things like what happened outside with the 5 people, Joseph, Terrence, Alyssa, Kyle, and Turner, someone that isn't white like myself automatically starts to think that way. Especially when you're dealing with someone like Kyle, who's getting his people to rope them in with his viewpoint. It is what it is. I'm not shocked of Turner's betrayal. I'm let down by it because I thought that he was a person that understood the mistreatment of others is just not cool. And it felt like he was on the side of, morality and diversity. But all of his actions outside proves different to me. And so I just don't really care for Turner, never really cared for Turner. And Turner can do nothing for me. He's allowing me to not like the show. Point of discussion 3. Joseph's attempt to stay. I don't know what kind of lawyer he is, but what we saw on the edited version of the show was a piss poor attempt at staying in the house. Piss poor attempt at staying in the house. And it just sucks. They all ganged up on him, including Terrence. And I felt like for him to be a lawyer, he should have, and he was the only lawyer in that team of 5, he should have been able to figure out how to finagle his way through it. But he didn't. And he just was shot down. And you see the clip of Turner saying, "Oh, you're lying." And you see the clip of Alyssa saying, I'm talking. Like, that man was beat up on national TV. And he comes out smiling and seemingly okay. Still let down by Kyle, but smiling and like okay. And I had an awe moment when, Joseph said that he hopes that Taylor even talks to him outside of the house. Joseph is a dope dude. I've grown to like Joseph, and I've grown to see his character. And I would play. So now, if I ever auditioned or decided to go in the house, I would be Davon, Cody, and Joseph. That would be my gameplay. Because I respect Joseph. Joseph is who I want in the house in terms of how they played the game, what they were willing to not do, and what they were willing to do to win. And it had to come to the last moment when he found out about what Kyle said, where he decided to go against the alliance. But throughout all of that, he was still championing the leftovers, while Kyle had already let everything out. It's like, wow. And now I'll get to Kyle. Kyle, I will get to Kyle. Number 4. Joseph not getting to say goodbye. I thought Joseph not getting to say goodbye to the house guests, especially Taylor, was the worst. It was one of the worst things that Big Brother had done, or like, I don't know. It was horrible to watch him be ripped to shreds on national television by 4 people, being such a great guy, after he was completely betrayed by Turner and Kyle, and then walk out the house, an empty house, not be able to say anything to Taylor and Monty. And now he has to go out and he has to smile and look great and all of that. Joseph is a good person, but the Cody in me would have been screaming throughout that entire house. Taylor, Taylor, I love you. Taylor, don't trust them, whatever. But he completely stayed in the game. He completely did what he needed to do. He is a complete class act. And I wouldn't be surprised if Joseph got America's favorite house guest. I just would not be surprised. Point number 5, Alyssa unnecessarily getting Taylor to cry and laughing about it. So the house is back together, and you have the outside versus the inside. And Taylor and Brittany are put on the block, or are being discussed as being put on the block. And Alyssa feels like she is in power. Alyssa feels so grand. Alyssa feels like, my man is in power and I'm here to stay, and y'all have all lied to me, and I just feel like this has just been horrible. I've never been given and afforded the opportunity to do well. And so, talk to me, Taylor. What do you have to say? Like, that's what I'm getting from Alyssa, and it's horrible. Alyssa is young, and so I'm not expecting much from her. Alyssa comes from a world of privilege, being white and beautiful, so I'm not expecting much from her. And Alyssa feels like she has a man that's championing her game. And so she's in a position of power. Just like she is in the real world, right? And so she's hammering Taylor for questions. And Taylor's like showing her emotions. And Alyssa runs and goes back to the group of white men. And they're all laughing about it, including Alyssa. Turner, Kyle, and Alyssa are laughing about it. Now, I can't remember if Turner was in the room, but I know for sure that Alyssa was talking to Kyle. And again, it just shows how nasty they are in real life and the privilege that they hold, period. Point 6, Taylor expressing to Alyssa why she wasn't a fomance with Joseph. I feel for Taylor. I don't think that she did well in her HOH, but she won HOH, and I feel for her. I feel for the experience that she's had in this house. We've gotten to witness it, and her strength that has gotten her to this point. But to hear her acknowledge why she felt she had to be in a fake showmance with Joseph, someone who had everybody's appreciation and or was liked by everyone. The moment she got into the fake fomance with Joseph, everyone was nicer to her and cooler to her, was so heart-wrenching to hear. And for her to confide that in Alyssa, someone who just does not give a damn, was even worse. Because Alyssa was like, oh my God, you're going to make me cry. Oh, wow, I never knew that. Alyssa does not care. She does not give two about Taylor. And so for me, I was like, wow, like, Taylor, you're strong. Taylor, you are strong, because better you than me. The fact that Alyssa was a part of your hate train, because everyone in that house was complicit. Let's be clear. Everyone was. So the fact that you then have to go and get emotional and sensitive to her, tell her your true feelings and why she felt ostracized in the house, and Alyssa was a part of that. Wow. Wow. Hats off to Taylor to be able to do that and to stay strong and expressing herself to Alyssa. Wow. And the fact that she even acknowledges that that's what she had to do to feel comfort or a sense of belonging in the house. Hats off to Taylor, an amazing person, a stronger person than I. Because wow, right? Wow. I completely respect Taylor and how she's playing. She's like the female Joseph to me. And I hope the two of them become like besties. I really do, because they're great. They are great people. And I just wish that Big Brother had like the whole, well, not the whole cast, but just great people are who get my vote, are the type of people that I root for. Joseph and Taylor are great people. Point number 7, Monty playing both sides. So Kyle and Turner roping Monty and their new alliance, or whatever they're calling it. I don't even know. At least they're not going after Monty just yet. Their goal is to go after Michael and backdoor Michael. And so they're roping Monty in and letting him know, what somewhat of their plans. And Monty is going back and forth like Joseph and expressing to Taylor, Michael, and Brittany how he feels about everything and what's happening. Monty is putting 2 and 2 together, and I love that about Monty. He is smart, and he's understanding how things are playing out, and he sees it, how things are playing out, and he's verbalizing it with Michael. Michael and Monty are some of the best players in a while. Michael, of course, because he has the stats, but his intuition is spot on. Monty, he doesn't necessarily have the stats, but his intuition is spot on. And he's been called the threat for forever, but no one has sent him home. Michael and Monty have some great, defenses against them as to why they should be crowned the winner. Two powerhouses in this house, and they could take it all the way to the end. Monty just needs to start winning more. Really, he does. But the fact that he's understanding what's happening, his intuition is spot on. Let's see. Number 8, nominations. Taylor and Brittany being, the nominations in hope or in the attempt to backdoor Michael. Monty tells Michael how he feels. Michael expresses to Brittany how he feels. And again, Monty and Michael's intuition are spot on. Michael sees what's happening. Kyle is no longer talking to Michael. When Michael enters the room, Kyle leaves. Michael is not looking Kyle in his face eye to eye. And so, Michael is seeing all of the changes that are happening. And he gets it. And Michael is pissed. One thing about... I'll get to Michael in a second. But regarding nominations, Taylor and Brittany being put up is the thing to get rid of the 4-person alliance or 4-person group that was rumored or said by Joseph to make it to the end, whatever. And that's Taylor, Brittany, Joseph, and Michael. Joseph is gone, so now they're like, we got to break down Michael's strength, and that's Taylor and Brittany. Okay, cool. And so they're putting them up. I understand that from the outside. I understand that viewpoint, and I get it. I just think Turner is stupid because he's helping a showman's get to the end. Maybe he thinks that he could beat Alyssa in any comp or whatever because Alyssa hasn't won anything, and maybe he's thinking it'll just be him versus Kyle in the end. Or maybe he can get rid of Kyle and then it's Turner and Alyssa. I don't know what his thoughts are. I just think he's dumb. But those are the nominations. And, Brittany is crying and singing at the same time. Taylor is let down but understands what's happening. And so it is what it is. Point of interest or point of discussion number 9. Jury management has not been a factor at all in this house. The only one that's doing jury management is Michael. He's the only one. And I think second to Michael would be Monty, and third to Monty would be Taylor. Because in Taylor's discussions to people and her goodbye messages, she's explaining what's going on. And then after Taylor would be Brittany. I guess the inside of the house is the only one that's kind of factoring in, because Brittany also expresses or gives details in her goodbye messages to people as well. But the outside of the house, Kyle, Turner, Alyssa, Terrence, they're not factoring in jury management. Kyle is just so far up, Alyssa's butt that all he sees is the potential romance between them. So much so that Kyle even said that if I don't have power next week, I'm out. And if they kick me out, you should just come out right after that so we can spend the rest of the summer in the, jury house. He doesn't even care about the money. He doesn't even care about Alyssa winning the money. All that's on his mind is surviving and being in love with Alyssa. And, I started watching Big Brother season 19. Whatever season the Rockstar Girl was on, I don't know what season that was. My memory doesn't serve me well, and I don't know if it would serve me well in this game. But whatever season she was on was when I started watching. And up until that point, I never understood the big deal about a showmance until Kyle and Alyssa came on my screens in Big Brother 24. Like, wow. The moment you see a showmance happening, get rid of it. And I don't know why, even up until this point, we've gotten to this far, why the Alliance allowed for the leftovers to be dealing with, why the leftovers allowed for themselves to be dealing with, a Kyle and Alyssa situation. It just makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me at all. But none of the outside people are thinking of jury management. And there's no way that if any of the outside people go against the inside people in the end, that an outside person would win. And I'm talking Terrence, Kyle, Turner, and Alyssa. If the outside people are not the final two, there's no way any of them are winning anything. There's just no way, in my opinion, because they're not handling their jury management well at all. And then my last point, Michael winning the veto. There is so much controversy surrounding Michael and his words to the camera when he's by himself. But you have to understand something. Michael is three things first: a man, white, and gay. Okay? Wesley, what are you talking about? So the whole world is upset that Michael is a comp beast. He's winning. He's doing this. He's da-da-da. He's very calculating. He's a lawyer. And he's just a comp beast, right? That's the man in him. That's the competitor in him, right? And so that's just who he is, right? By nature, that's just him. On top of that, the world is acknowledging it, or not really acknowledging the fact that he's white. And so they're angry. The world is angry that now, Michael is bringing out his sassiness, his bitch, you're not gonna get me and think that you're gonna walk away unscathed-ness. The gayness is coming out of him. And this is just my interpretation, right? But he's becoming real sassy and vindictive towards Kyle, who's not only betrayed the leftovers, but is trying to backdoor him. Okay? And Michael understands that he's attempting to backdoor him. And so his sassy is coming out. His competitor is coming out. His bitch, you're not gonna get me is coming out, right? And mixed in with all the 3 points that I just told you about Michael, they all share a common interest within him. But the world is upset that Michael is thinking about weaponizing, Kyle's racist comments and letting it be known what Kyle said. And they thinking that they're saying that he's weaponizing it to use it to his advantage and to get further in the game. But y'all have to understand something. Okay? And maybe y'all don't. Y'all can feel however you want to feel. But I will never, in the 41 years I've been on this earth, I've never made it a point to feel like a white person will understand my plight. How could they? From a human to human, sure. But the world is not designed to make white people feel like they're human to human. Period. And, white people have always been in a space of power in today's world. So privilege is innate within most of them. Within most of them. And I'm not saying they use it to their advantage, but they just don't have acknowledgement of what black people, of what minorities have to go through. They're blind to it. They can see it on the news all day, but it's not their world. They may have a black friend, but it's not their world. They may have an understanding of why people are protesting in the streets, but it's not their world. So they don't wake up like, oh my God, I can't, what happened to George Floyd? Oh, my people. No, they don't go through that. So that's not how they think on a day-to-day basis. We go through that on a day-to-day basis. So that's where we are. That's who we are. And that's how we're going to feel every day. So I'm not mad at Michael not taking Kyle's information and running to tell that. 1, he's white. 2, he was in an alliance. And 3, he told Kyle about what the optics would look like, and Kyle agreed. So what, at that point, when he's still in the alliance with the leftovers and trying to make it to the 7, at what point would it make to disband the leftovers when I feel like I've had a conversation with Kyle and he understands how bad that would be? Doesn't make sense. Then they get split up, and then Kyle comes back in and Joseph's gone. And Kyle has made it a point and made it clear that he's against or anti-leftovers. The leftovers are done. And there's still 2 leftovers, non-leftover members in the house. But the leftovers are done all of a sudden. And now you're not talking to me anymore. And now there's a backdoor plan against me, Kyle? Why? Why is Terrence and Alyssa not going up a part of the plan? Oh, because you're in love with Alyssa now and you're anti-leftovers now. Okay, so then that means, as Michael, that I need to be anti-you. What can I do to ensure that I'm in this game? I don't know why people are having a problem with that. Okay, I understand why people may have a problem with that. But what are we talking about here? At that point, it makes no sense for him to hold that information in. The alliance is done. The leftovers are done. And you're coming after me. That, you know what I'm saying? There could have been so many various factors as to why Michael held it in. Maybe Michael didn't want Monty, Joseph, and Taylor to feel some sort of way. Maybe Michael didn't want them to be angry or be upset in the house or feel like that it is about race. Maybe Michael had discussions with them about the cookout, and the way that Taylor and Monty expressed it to them made them feel that they didn't want the show to be about their skin color. There's so many reasons that I would lean toward first before I'd be like, oh, he's weaponizing. Again, first and foremost, Michael is white. It is what it is. It is what it is. Look at Turner. Turner's attempt to make it seem like he understands Taylor's plight was completely washed away when Turner went outside and completely went against the leftovers and then comes in and throws Taylor and Brittany up. Turner is white. It sounded good in the beginning, but it didn't last long. And I'm not saying morally so that Michael is in the same boat as Turner. I'm just saying, first, they're white. Second, he was in an alliance with Kyle, and at that time, the alliance was in power, and there was a unity among them. Why bring this up? And then third, he spoke to Kyle about the optics, and they both agreed not to move in that direction. There's no reason to rile up the house if everything's going smoothly. There's no reason to. But we're in the Big Brother house. So the moment you decide to come after me, when you have no real reason to come after me, and you're trying to sneak attack me, and we still have 2 non-leftover members in the house, oh, best believe, baby. Best believe I'm coming after you. What do you mean? The same way Kyle went after the leftovers outside because he wanted to save his punani. He ratted out the leftovers. He's calling Joseph a scumbag and all this extra stuff. What are you talking about? Of course, I'm telling the house what you did. And I feel like if Michael does this, because he wanted the power of veto, if Michael does this, I feel like it will save the black people. Let's call it a spade. He would ultimately not only out Kyle, but make Turner look like garbage if Turner goes after the black people. And in turn, he would have more people on his side. What are we talking about here? Of course I would do that. I would do that too. Look at the optics. Look at the optics. So after I tell you that Kyle wants to make an all-white alliance told me this. You're going to throw up 2 black people on the block? Huh? What are you talking about? That's horrible. Why would you do that, Turner? Makes sense to me. And if Michael doesn't do that, I feel like, oh, you're dumb. But Michael doesn't really have... Michael is fine because he's in power. But come on. Like, the black people are on his side. You damn right I would say that. What? But I understand kind of why people are in their feels. You know, it's interesting that black people always want white people to understand their plight way more or on an equal playing field. And that will never happen. I'm sorry. There are a lot of white people out there that are allies and champion the cause and out protesting and don't want harm to come to black people. But they just will never get it. They will never get it. When white people are stopped by the cops, they will never get it. Ever. And so, you know, it is what it is. You can be an ally all day, but you're never gonna get it. Salt and pepper, that's in vogue. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Whoa, 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 whoa. So I'm not wanting Michael to be like, oh my God, I should have said something in the very beginning. No. Like that's not his world. That's not his life. You know? Michael is gay. Michael has dealt with some adversity, but anywhere that this boy steps, anywhere that this boy goes, anywhere that Michael goes, he's immediately seen as white. Immediately. And he is immediately put in a space of privilege. The only place that he could remotely feel uncomfortable is if he's in an all-black establishment. And when is Michael ever going to one of those? Let's not act like we don't know what it is. Brittany included. Let's not act like we don't... What? But a black person can go overseas in Puerto Rico and be treated like trash, can go over to Italy, Paris, France, you know, and get stopped by the cops and be treated like trash. We can go anywhere in this world and be treated like trash. Bitch, we could be in America and be treated like trash. Michael, what? You think Michael's gonna be treated like trash? No. How you doing, sir? We have the best accommodation. Come on. We're not living the same world. We're not. So Michael's not going to understand that. And Michael's not going to be like, oh my God, I should have told him right away. And then even if he would have done that, it just would have been so much chaos potentially in the house on an alliance that seemingly was doing perfect. So I'm rambling now. But people need to lay off Michael. Michael won the power of veto. And hopefully Michael will utilize the information that he has against Kyle to keep the black people in the house. Period. Oh, y'all want to get me out because I'm black? You damn right I'm going to use that card. What? As much crap that Kyle put Joseph and as much crap that Alyssa is doing to Taylor right now, you think I'm not going to play the race card? What are you talking about? What? Oh, you're trying to get rid of me because I'm black, isn't it? You damn right. Get out of here with all that. Anyways, I've rambled on long enough, and I still feel like my 10 points of discussions was like all over the place. I'm not as clean cut with my edits anymore, and I just ramble. But anyways, hopefully you got to this point of the video. I don't really care for season 24 anymore. I don't like the villains, and right now, the outside, everyone that was outside is a villain to me, and they're winning right now. And I don't like that. You know, some people like, you know, when Thanos snapped everybody away and, you know, everybody was disappearing. I was upset. I don't like Thanos. I don't want to see Thanos win. I was glad when his head got chopped off. And right now, everyone that was outside are Thanos's. And I don't want them to win. I'm not excited about this. I don't even want to watch the show because they're winning right now. And what they're doing to Taylor, trash. And how they're trying to rope Monty in to save him for later, trash. And how they're trying to get out Michael, trash. The leftovers are still in attendance, and we went against the leftovers. This season is trash. So I'm not here for it, and I just don't care about it. And again, like I said at the very beginning of this video, I understand why the cookout was made, and I'm no longer upset about it. So anyways, leave your comments below and let me know how you feel. And leave your thoughts. I'm doing this review for y'all. Y'all have asked me to do this review because I'm over the show. I'm not reviewing the challenge. What is it? The challenge USA is trash. It's boring. There's no connection to it. You know, give me a show with Nelly all day. Give me a show with Laurel all day. Give me a show with Paulie all day. I'd even watch the challenge if Bananas was back on it. I need to be able to connect to these people. There's no connection. Why are they? It's like, I don't know. I don't know what it's like, but it's trash. The show is trash to me. And the only two people that I care about on this season is Danny, because he's still on the show, but he hasn't won crap, and Kylan, but they kicked him out. So Angela is a beast, though. Like, what? Angela is a beast. And as much as I didn't really care for how Angela and what's the boy name? Tyler, how they did Bailey in the house. And that was the season that Casey was a part of. Trash. Ugh, trash. But Bailey walked away with a millionaire husband and Swaggy, and they're in some mansion in Puerto Rico. So Bailey is fine. She popping out babies out the twat. So she can care less about somebody's big brother. But Angela is super, 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 super dope. Oh my God, Angela is a beast. What? Anyways, leave your comments below. Deuces.